The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pit Life BBQ podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnnie Mags.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life BBQ podcast, coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. What is going on, everybody? We have gotten into May.
Yes, happy May.
It is, everything's fully fired up, ready to go. The competitions in the area have begun.
Woohoo.
Actually, they started at the beginning of April. A few of them, and we got it. But now
it's really
it's really rolling on. The dust and the rust has been knocked off, and everybody's ready to go. So what's up there, Chrissy?
Oh, nothing much. Living life, having a great time.
Absolutely.
Just had my birthday party this weekend gone. It was a very belated birthday party, but because of everything that happened in February. So we had the 80s party this weekend gone. Rocked it out at Sadie's. It was a great time. So
Nice. 19 again, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah, girl.
For like the 20-somethingth time. I don't know. Don't do that math. That's not actually true. I'm not that old. But yeah, I'm happy the good weather's here. It was definitely over the winter. So let's go.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we got a great episode this week. We got my boy Rico Pasquale joining us from Q Shanty. Yeah. And local team, like I said, trying to get throughout the year about a bunch of the local guys.
Yeah.
With everything they're doing, because they're fucking crushing it. The stuff they're doing, between the competition themselves, they're members of, Big Green Egg and all the egg fests and things like that, but we will get to this, so let's get rolling, Christy.
Let's do
Today's episode brought to you by
the number one best tasting shake on the planet. That would be Uncle Steve's Shake. Uncle Steve's Shake is handmade, hand-measured, hand-mixed, and hand-packed. Uncle Steve's Shake is made with the finest of ingredients and comes in 13 amazing flavors, with the latest addition being the CJ's West Coast Shake. I still don't have any, by the way, Uncle Steve, if you're listening.
He's supposed to be sending me a box.
Yay! Including the competition line as well, and the incredible dessert shake. And don't forget the newest addition to the Uncle Steve family, the sauce with no name. No matter what you are eating, Uncle Steve has a shake for it, and also now a sauce. I had it on pizza last night. If you have any questions, Uncle Steve has great customer service to help you with all your shake needs. Go to UncleStevesShake.com to order your shakes today. Also on that website, you're going to find some fantastic shake tips and recipes. You're going to be amazed at just how versatile Uncle Steve's shakes really are. And that is the dead set truth. I use it on so many different things. Also, while you're over there on the internets, go to Facebook and join Uncle Steve's Shake Nation to stay up to date with all the latest creations made using Uncle Steve's Shakes, and maybe even share some of your own while you're there. It's time to step up your backyard barbecue and your competition barbecue game with Uncle Steve's Shake. Uncle Steve's Shake, shake some on literally everything.
Absolutely. Today also brought to you by Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether I'm barbecuing or not, I always keep the smoke rolling, thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today I am smoking I don't know.
Oh.
Mr. Jonathan handed me an unbanded.
Ooh.
So this could be one of the shop specials,
it could be plus 90.
Yeah. Plus 90.
Are you enjoying it, though?
It is fantastic.
Of course it is. It came from Two Guys Cigars.
That's right. But thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com, I get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit TwoGuysCigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2, GuyCigars.com.
Today's show also brought to you by Magna Chef Gloves. Whether you're the family grill master or a professional pit master, quality tools make it easier for you to be your best on that grill. Longtime firefighter and founder of Magna Chef, Alan Fonte, knows a thing or two about fire management. He designed the Magna Chef Gloves and the Freedom Barbecue Gloves for you to get in and out of fast. With the magnetic swivel plates, you can easily slip in and out of these gloves. They will keep your hands cool and allow you to cook and grill safely. No more getting stuck in hot gloves. Depending on your glove preference, Magna Chef Glove has 2 fantastic options for you. The first being the classic Magna Chef Barbecue Glove, which is made of food-grade silicone. It has a web fit for firmer grip, dishwasher safe, one size fits all, heat rated up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and comes in, 5 amazing flavors? Flavors? Jesus, colors.
Colors.
Good morning.
Same difference.
And they also come with the Freedom BBQ gloves as your other option, which is a 5-finger flexible and pliable grip, a 14-inch long cuff to protect your forearms, made of a heat-resistant neoprene, heat rated up to 932 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't even know how hot that is.
It's very.
It sounds it. These gloves help extend your time over that fire. Both styles of MagnaChef gloves are great for barbecue and kitchen use. Head on over to magnachef.com today. That's MAGNE chef.com and order yourself one of each pair today. And at the checkout, make sure you use the promo code FreedomLives for 10% off your order. MagnaChef barbecue gloves master the fire. Freedom barbecue gloves take a stand. Free your hand.
Also brought to you by CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. Ian Hemming is creating what I call the Yeti of cutting boards. These boards take an absolute beating, and they hold up. From the dishwasher board, which is your standard countertop size board, to the absolutely massive 18 by 36 inch brisket board. And for all our pizza cookers out there, he's got you covered too, with the pizza board for that perfect slice every time. UV protected, deep lip reservoir to catch all that juicy goodness from whatever proteins you're cooking. The rubber nubs on the bottom, so even on a wet surface, these boards will not slide on you. Push them around all you want, they will not move. No more accidental slips in a cut, you're good to go. Check them out at CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com and tell them I sent you. That's CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. That's the letter RUS.com. All right, let's roll. We're hometown, we're local, highlighting one of the boys that I will be competing with this year on hopefully multiple occasions.
Hopefully.
So let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. From Q Shanty, please welcome Rico Pasquale. Rico, what's up, brother?
What's up, Johnnie? How are you doing today, buddy?
Hanging in, kid. How's everything going with you?
Pretty good. Just on my lunch break, enjoying life.
Attaboy. How's all the wedding plans going?
Crazy. Let's put it that way. we have our cupcake tasting tonight. We're actually using a local family friend of ours. I work with her boyfriend or co-partner in life, and she's doing all our cupcakes for our wedding because we're not doing a traditional cake. I'm doing the cupcakes.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. And then menu planning is basically all done. It's getting done by one of my sponsors and one of my best friends, Chef Dan Lane. So I'm pretty proud of that, and we're kind of working together on getting the menu perfect, and it'll be a great time.
Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. So, dude, thank you so much for taking time. I know we had talked, a few weeks ago, and we were going to try to shoot to hopefully sometime in June. But, the things with this, things happen on the different ends, and we had a cancellation. I'm like, yo, Rico, you able to do it? He goes, yeah, I'm in. So let's roll, brother. So please tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do, and how you being from New England, how you got into barbecue.
All right. I'm Rico Pasquale. Real name's Enrico, but everyone knows me as Rico, or the young kid, but that's not anymore. I started doing the competition circuit when I was 16 years old. And to be honest, it's probably one of the best experiences of my life. I've been now doing it on my 11th season of cooking. I started off as a couple different names. I was Young Guns Barbecue when I first started out because I was a young kid and I thought I knew everything.
Yep.
Then I went on a mentoring season with Q Men, who no longer competes. I went to the Jack in 2014 with them, and we did pretty well at the Jack. We actually had a first place chef's choice down there for the Jack. Wow. And then I went to JR's Big and Little with a buddy of mine, and then that only lasted a year. And then we continued as JR's Big and Little just because of sponsorships and all that stuff. Yeah. But then after that year, I talked to all my sponsors. I'm like, guys, I'm changing my name. It's going to be Q Shanty. I'm going to represent myself, and it's going to be the brand I'm going to roll with for the rest of my life. And I mean, I've been now on Q Shanty for the past 5 years, almost 6 years now, competing with that name. And the name actually came from my father.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, I was the Shanty of the fleet. I was put it between two RVs and squished in with a little trailered stick burner and sleeping in on a cot underneath an awning, or my parents were sleeping in the trucks and the cars, and we were just going. I mean, but it's been a big family thing. I mean, my whole family's got involved. The fiance is now involved in it, so we roll with it. But really, we couldn't do what we do and be able to compete as many contests as I do without my sponsors. As everyone knows, I am sponsored by different companies: Chef Dan Lane Rubs and Seasonings and Sauces, Inkbird, Manchester Barbecue Pellets, Better Wood Products, Lum Charcoal, Flaming Grilling Products, and then I'm also one of the Smithfield teams for committed cooks for Smithfield Foods. And then Oklahoma Joe's picked me up about 3 years ago. So we roll with Broncos to every competition. You at least see 2 to 3 Broncos with me. And I love cooking on drums. I just recently started going more into the pellets. I like the pellets, my low and slow overnight, and that's how I am.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, those Manchester pellets, those are phenomenal. I've been...
That's a great facility as well. I toured the whole facility. I've been down there twice already, and it's a great time.
Yes. We had obviously, we had Scott on a few weeks back, and, he sent me a bag, and, yeah, they're a top-notch pellet. And then with the process he goes through for the production line of them, it's... they're definitely the top of the line for sure as far as, as the pellets go. Great burn, great flavor off of them, top notch. Great and local, local to New England, which is nice. So what made you were saying you started at 16. What made you do it? Obviously, was it, you said your parents were in, so you just kind of fell in line, or,
No, So I started off, my parents supported me. They never really thought this barbecue thing was going to actually take off the way it has been over the years. It all started when I was like 10, 11 years old. My mom, it was always me and my mom at home during the day, at nighttime, because my dad works nights. So I was always cooking with my mom in the house and all that stuff. And I started cooking on the outside propane grill, and I had a little Weber kettle, just fooling around, and went to a 4th of July party, and my uncle's ribs tasted like lighter fluid. And I looked at him dead in the face and said, next year I'm coming back with better ribs. So that going in, I went to a Votech High School for culinary arts. I actually went to Bristol, Plymouth, and my high school chef there goes, I need a whole bunch of yard work done. I'll pay you $100. I'm like, no, how about you buy me my first smoker? And that's how it all kind of came about with me cooking barbecue. And ever since then, I think I've gone through 35 different kinds of smokers over the years. I've done countless things. I mean, my barbecue isn't just for me. I feed a homeless shelter, 2 homeless shelters once a month. We feed them. And that rubs and seasonings go to that as well. So a lot of the stuff I do isn't just for competition. It's for everybody else around us too, and all that stuff.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it's the giving back that, barbecue allows everybody to do, and everybody, embraces it wholeheartedly. You doing that. They had a big thing the other day I saw on one of the things, Dave Grohl, who is, he jumped feet first into barbecue. Like, he didn't have enough going on, in the music biz. But, they, he was doing, homeless shelters, and he does all types of charity events. But he's just one of the names. Obviously, you do it. Everybody gives back to however we can. I know, you're a member of New England Pit Masters, and a few years ago we had that giant, wonderful event for BK's nephew, Aiden. And it was, the turnout, everyone came out in full force. We met a bunch of everybody for the first time, and all hit it off. I think that was the actual first time I ever met Greg, was that thing, because I grew up literally across the street from Kevin. I've known Kevin literally from the day he was born, and hey, we're doing this thing. If you're around, absolutely. So I jumped in and we just had a time. But it's that constant giving back that barbecue allows us to do, because we're so passionate for it. Everybody loves it. It goes over great. And, it's the philanthropy in barbecue is, you can't really put a level on it. That it's all about giving back in every aspect that we can. But I love the fact that you said, you started at 16. Because I wish I knew that back when I was, 16, 18, instead of picking it up whenever the hell I did, mid to late 30s. It's like, oh my God, I've been missing out on all of this for so long. But that's fantastic that, you're really was what we talk about, the youth, bringing the youth into it. Now you're, obviously you're a seasoned veteran, but we always want to keep barbecue and competition barbecue going. And it's like, okay, how do you get the younger generation to jump in on this? A lot of us have the same story. We were sitting around watching TV one day, and you turned on TV and BBQ Pit Masters was on, and everyone said the famous last words, I can do that. And sure enough, boom, so many people have that same story, and it's great. What have you learned from barbecue, or especially the barbecue competition scene?
So in general, the competition scene has taught me a lot. Doesn't matter how you think your food tastes, it's what the judges think at the end of the day. But the biggest thing that you're going to learn is you got to be able to take your own criticism. You can think something might taste great and you pass into that judge and they think it's horrible. You need to be able to take those scores and learn from them. So over the past couple of weeks, as you've seen, I've been doing the SCA events, and I just helped out a big buddy of mine from Big Bobby's Q this past couple of weeks ago doing his first ever KSBS. And day one, my ribs came out great. I did a 7th place overall with those ribs and the 1 meat rib. And then the next day, my ribs were 31st.
Yeah.
And it was the same exact recipe. And it was just how it comes out. But the biggest thing I've learned is that everyone in the competition field will help you out if you have a question. Everyone might not give you the exact recipe they're doing, but they'll give you tips and tricks on how to fix something. I mean, people ask me, hey, can you show me how you trim your pork? Or can you talk to me about how you do this? Yeah, here you go. Because I can give you all the knowledge, but you have to be able to cook what I'm giving you.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part is some people don't. Like I've taken shake and bake and get basics class for Blues Hog barbecue on the drums. A lot of what I learned from that class I still use, but I learned more techniques and how to manage the drum fires with those classes. Flavors up here in New England are completely different than down everywhere else because we're a melting pot of all different kinds of people. So that being said, with me, I can only afford 5 to 7, 5 to 8 comps a year.
Yeah.
And I might not come out a grand champion, but it's me being able to cook and represent the brands I represent and being able to do what I love is cooking. But if you realize I'm not just a barbecue cook, I get into all different other cooking arenas too. I've qualified 3 times for World Foods. I've been at the final table for Culinary Fight Club twice. Past time I was in Culinary Fight Club, I was in the top 10. So everything you do, you're learning something else.
Yeah.
It's not just doing what you want to do. It's every time you light that smoker, you're going to learn something different. And that's how I think every day.
Yeah. And, going back and hearing the stories of the old days, And it's like, everybody was hush hush and not saying anything. No, hell no, 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 no. But now, as the years have gone by, and technology has gotten to where it was. Back in the days, there was no internet. There was no Google, there was YouTube, Facebook, the different forums. There was none of that. And today, I don't have cable television up in my house. Granted, up where I live, it's a pain in the ass to get it in work on a regular basis anyway. But all I do is the YouTube or the streaming things, and it's all food related, and I'm watching these videos and how this one does that, how that one prepares this, and and it's constantly making notes. I remember, like I said, with Pitmasters, I watch the show, but it's still on syndication. It'll be on all day on this Saturday on one of the channels. But I got to the point of I'd watch the show, but I wasn't watching the show. I was looking in the background. What is that bottle on that shelf? Or what is this? The one I always bring up is Mo Cason, and it was back in the day when he was still cooking on the eggs.
Nope.
And he had the bottles turned a certain way, and the camera guy moved and showed. I'm like, that's Blues Hog barbecue sauce. Okay, it's the red. Okay, so he's using the Tennessee red. And it's like, okay, just noticing that little things, and it was fantastic. But yeah, man, I am excited. I've done the competitions in the past, the little backyard ones, brewery ones. Me, Messy Mike. The first year was Crawdaddy Chris MVP. We did up at Smutty Nose Brewery in Northampton, and they only had it for 2 years, which was somewhat a little disappointing because it was a good time. But we brought home first place ribs both years, and the second year I brought home the chicken wings. But talking to those guys there, there was restaurateurs, caterers, just the camaraderie, picking the brains. And with me at the post office, it's tough to do the competitions. Like you had said, first off, we only got so much money.
Yep.
And what we do is an extremely expensive sport.
Yeah.
And with me, we always work Saturdays. So I need to get Friday and Saturday off to do a competition and be able to load stuff up. So now that I got the new rig, all I do is hook it to the back of the truck and I go. So it's like, okay, I got no damn excuse this year. I need to get into different ones and get going. So the first one we have coming up is going to, of course, I'm just like Greg and the boys in this aspect. First official competition, let's just go to the Granite State Barbecue Championship, KCBS, and let's roll the friggin' dice, but that's going to be great. I'm so excited about that. We've been running around getting all the rest of the equipment I needed and all this. Unfortunately, when we were talking, you said you're not going to be there that week because you're going to be doing one of the egg fests. Tell us a little about that.
I got asked by my local Ace Hardware in Easton, Mass. to do their egg fest, and it's an opportunity I cannot pass up. I mean, I don't normally cook on an egg. I told him that straight up. I'm like, I've never cooked on one. He goes, I don't care. I want you because you shop here every week. I want you you're always in here. You're always buying stuff. I just want these people to see what you can cook. So I'm still playing around with a couple ideas for that dish. I'm going to do two different things. I know for a fact I'm going to do a bacon wrap meatball stuffed with mozzarella mozzarella cheese
Okay.
with some kind of different kind of sauce. But then I want to bring out my culinary side, and I think I'm going to end up doing my steak crostinis that took 8th place in Culinary Fight Club. I'm debating on it. I just don't know yet if I'm going to be able to have the time or the help per se, because the steak crostinis take a lot of time and a lot of effort to do a lot of prep beforehand. And I don't think the fiance wants to sit there and break crostinis again, because I think she was scarred for life from Fight Club. And we made 460 samples of them, so I think she's a little still scarred with my crostinis. But if I don't do that, I might do a braised beef short rib wrapped in bacon. We had those at our work Christmas party, and then a week later I was making them for family parties, but putting my own twist on them. And I gotta say, I like just being around, playing around, and having fun.
Yeah.
You cook the 4 basic meats all day long, but you just gotta.
Lights out.
Sorry about that. I'm just in my office. But you cook the 4 meats. You got to have fun and play around with different ideas and creativity.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't know. I just like doing oddball things. Like we did the pizza SCA. She did it for her first ever time and took 10th place. It was under my name, but I was so proud of her. And then for the campground one, she came up with my idea to do a shrimp scampi bacon wrap scallop pizza with a bechamel sauce. So she came up with the idea. I had to execute it. I kind of tweaked it on my own end, adding a pesto aioli on top and that stuff, but it came out 2nd place. And without her, I probably would not have thought about doing a seafood style pizza, to be honest.
Yeah, and
you just got to play around.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, you're having conversations with people. And it's like, I'm going to try this. Oh, you should try this. And like you said, with the criticism and people's opinions, just take it in. Don't take it personal. Just absorb it all. And like you said, you went there and led to the placing. I wouldn't have never thought of that, but I gave it a shot. And, hell, it worked. And that's how I do it for All Out. So that'll be great. But yeah, the egg fests are a great time. I know, C-Mac. He just became this year. He is one of the Big Green Egg team members.
Yep.
So he went down. He went down the whole East Coast back in October. From starting in Massachusetts all the way down to Florida and all the way back, doing the egg fests with everybody. But yeah, that's awesome. So that'll be a ton of fun for you.
Yeah, I just like it because I can be able to promote myself as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use a lot of my competition flavors, to be honest. I'm going to go into, I told the owner, I'm going to go into that Ace that Tuesday or Wednesday and just buy all of the stuff off the shelf that I'm going to use. And he goes, okay, that's fine. And I'm like, I would rather use what I know, and I'll bring Chef Dan Lane's stuff, of course, because he's one of my best friends, and I do a lot of catering with him. He's part of his Chef Dan Lane experience. I help him out with that a lot, and I help promote his barbecue sauces and his rubs, so I'll be using a lot of that stuff too. But I just kind of want to go have fun with it. I never done one before. I've actually never attended one, to be honest. Every time they're around, it's always a competition. So I normally always choose a competition over this, but it's in my backyard. It's only 10 minutes from my house. I was like, I got to take this opportunity when I can.
Heck yeah. And they're great. C-Mac was telling us about them that at the end they sell all the cookers that have been used. So if there was 10 different setups going, they'll sell all 10. And, obviously at a discounted rate because they're now used once. But, and a lot of them, like you said, what comes back to giving back. There's usually a charity of some sort involved, and obviously the cost of the cooker gets taken care of, but then the rest goes to whatever charity that they're working with at the time, which is fantastic. So that's Egg Fest. So that's going to be June 3rd and 4th. But you got one coming up this weekend in Jamestown.
Yes, we do. I will be. So Jamestown's going to be fun. I'm actually cooking the competition, and I'm also going to be cooking for the judging class as well.
Oh.
So I'm cooking the chicken and the pork. Matt's Backyard Barbecue is cooking the ribs and the brisket for the judging class. There's a specific criteria we got to cook for that.
Yeah.
And that's going to be fun. It's going to be my first time ever cooking for it, but I think it's going to be a blast.
Okay.
I mean, we'll be meeting my dad Friday night cooking together to cook for that class because my mom, my fiance, and my sister and the puppies aren't coming down till Saturday afternoon. So it'll be a nice little father-son time for a little bit.
You said puppies.
Yes.
So dogs, you can bring dogs to the competitions?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending upon which event you can bring your dogs.
Okay, that's good to know because Mrs. Maggs had asked that. She goes, what the hell are we going to do with these two idiots? I'm like, I'm pretty sure some of them, I go, we got to check it out, but good to know. Okay.
Granite State, you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Because you're on the Budweiser brewery.
Yeah.
But any one that's at a campground or anything like that, you can bring your dogs. I mean, I've always brought my dogs. As long as I can bring my dogs, they're going.
Yeah.
They're part of the cooking team. They're outside every time we're cooking. They're trying to steal some snacks off the grill. So.
Oh yeah, they're my worst critics. Those two, because everything I eat everything I give them is great. I go, so they're the worst judges of my stuff. So it's like stay the hell back. But you said something before that was very interesting. I've never actually heard it before. The cooking for the judging classes, and you said there was specific criteria. What are some of those points that you have to hit? Because are you gonna do? Is it okay? Your regular cook, and then you do another one, and you kind of jack it up a little bit.
No, so for the judging class, they're not really going on flavor. They're more trying to show you what you're allowed to do in a box. So part of it could be show what you do 2 boxes of each meat. So you do 2 chicken boxes, one that's legal, one that's not legal.
Okay.
So legal would mean perfectly allowed, another one not. So it just depends upon how you're looking at it. Some could have a piece of tinfoil, a small piece of tinfoil in the box. Some could be the sauce pooled in the corner. So just like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Kathy, trained with Inclusive Barbecue, is giving us all the rubs and sauces that we're using for it. We're not even allowed to touch anything from our competition side of what we're doing.
Okay.
It's just cooking the meat, putting the meat in the box, and just giving these people who have never judged something just some kind of criteria to understand and how to do it.
Okay. Now, do they go, full KCBS judging, or so you got the, you get the green bed, or do they also do some of the other ones that there's no garnish on it, just tin foil?
So it's going to be all green beds.
Okay.
Some might have red tip kale in it. Some might have a spinach in it. It's just that you're just trying to show them how to pick up these little things, because you can't teach someone how to taste something.
Yeah.
You can't teach someone what tenderness is. That people will learn that over time for trying barbecue and learning how to judge it. What you're trying to show them is like the basics, like what you're looking at when you're trying to parent something or that kind of stuff. You're trying to give them a baseline of everything, because your palate can be completely different than my palate. It's just how human life is. And that's the biggest thing that this class is going to teach you, is just what to look for. It's not going to teach you the flavors you're having for competition. It's just teaching you what to look for.
Okay. Interesting. Because, I always wondered that, I got to, at some point, I want to take one of the judging classes. But when you said that, I found that very interesting on you and Matt were cooking for it. So, yeah. So, like, I didn't know if, so it's all like the appearance and basically the disqualifying aspects of it. If there's this, illegal materials in a box, like you said, tin foil, pooled sauce, a toothpick or something like that.
They're not cutting all your meat all the way through, and one judge gets nothing and the other judge gets both pieces of ribs or a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
it's just that kind of stuff you're looking at.
Interesting. That's great. I love that aspect of it. See, it's always learning something here. So Rico, you're a great teacher, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I try to. I mean, even when you're up in Grand State, if you got any questions, I'm only a message away if you need anything.
Hell yeah. You know, because I'm so looking forward to meeting everybody. You know, you've been seeing all the posts and everything, and the comments and the different posts, but they actually, you know, get to meet people face to face finally is going to be great. Because, you know, obviously, you know, I know Matt, and I've known Billy Gillespie for years now, so it's going to be great to hang out with them. But I'm looking forward to just meeting everybody, and you know, like you said, it comes down to you know, the barbecue fam thing. You know, everybody's so friendly. You know, you need something. Oh yeah, here you go. I got an extra one of these. Hey, you got this? Absolutely. There you go. And you know, just the whole camaraderie.
Real. Barbecue family's real. I mean, there's a team coming in from Florida for Corey's Maine. I'm actually going to give them drums to use. I'm going to give them a Cambro, a couple tables, and I'll just roll up. We'll bring my mom's truck to tow the trailer. I'll put a little setup for him in my truck and just drive right up and go.
Beautiful.
Because if you travel anywhere, you can make a phone call on a moment's notice, and if you want to go cook anywhere in the country, there's always people willing to help you. So help out as much as you can when someone's coming up here and needs something.
Oh yeah, you know, I was talking. Where the hell was I? Oh, I was down in Houston for the Houston Livestock and Rodeo, and I was hanging out with Rob Arosha from Bullhorn Barbecue, and so we got talking, and he's like, you know, what's the comps up your way looking? I go, dude, it's getting bigger and bigger every year, which is fantastic, you know. And you know, right off the bat, a lot of that goes, you know, to Kathy, the barbecue mom, you know,
Kathy, and also to Jeremy for putting on all his comps as well. And then also a good thanks to Scott and Jeff for doing some of the smaller comps and trying to get SCA more involved up here in New England as well.
Yeah, but everybody's just, and that's their part-time stuff. They still got full-time gigs, and they're doing that in their spare time on a lunch break or, you know, at night, and, you know, still running the household and everything. So, you know, the tireless work they put in, and it's great to see all these comps and, you know, the qualifiers and the automatics. And so I was telling him, I go, dude, we got a couple up there that are automatics for the jack. And he goes, really? I go, yeah. I go, it's coming along. I go, I know you people guys don't want to believe this shit, but New England is coming into its own. And I go, we got heavy hitters week in, week out. He goes, you know anybody who's got any drums that I could cook on? I go, I'm sure we could find them. I'm sure we can find them, brother. If you're going to do it, let me know. When's your flight? I'll pick you up. We'll start making calls and messages, and we'll get you some equipment. And he's like, oh, you know, it was vice versa. If you ever want to cook in Texas, let me know. I got this, I got that. You know, okay. You know, which is just a beautiful thing. Like I said, I know you're on your lunch break, so I appreciate all the time you're giving me.
No,
but as far as the cooking and the competitions, and like I said, we go back to what you said earlier. You started at 16. What advice would you give the youth that are thinking about getting into what we do?
Make sure you got your parents on board, because it's not a cheap hobby, and you need someone to financially back you to be able to go do this. I mean, my parents for 4 years were paying all my bills to be able to go do this, so I could go to college, I could have a job, put money in a savings account. But the biggest thing is go have fun. Yeah. You're not going to learn unless you dive headfirst into competition cooking, because you cook in your backyard. It's completely different. You're trying to enjoy a meal with your friends and family, and you go into a one bite competition on this. That's the biggest thing I've learned. That's the biggest thing I learned with my best friend who passed away, who was my original cooking partner. We both said to each other that I can cook for the backyard. Can I really cook for these judges? And that's the hardest thing is cooking for judges. But I love it. And you just got to love what you do. If you love what you do, it's not a day's worth of work at a competition.
Yeah. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most is, seeing where my stuff stacks up. Like I said, this is the first quote unquote, sanctioned professional comp that I've been going to be doing. And, just to see where it is. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. He's like, "Oh boy, you got bit. So just get ready and hang on." I'm like, "I appreciate that. I understand that." And where the hell was I going with this? I forgot.
The competition's going to come back.
You're cooking. He goes, "What goals you got?" I go, "Honestly, I got one goal and one thought mindset. My only goal is to make turn-ins.
Yep.
And then my only mindset is just cook. Don't think about it. Just do what I do. It's got different setting, so many people around. So just make turn-ins and just cook. That's where I'm at. If I finish dead ass last, I still finished.
Yep. And you're still there.
That's it. As long as I made those turn-ins, and that's anything else is bonus time as far as I'm concerned.
What are you cooking for brisket for that competition? You cooking Snake River, or what are you going to cook?
I am looking at Snake River or the meat shop at Kevin Green's down in Pensacola.
Looking at Marble Ridge as well on that.
Marble Ridge? Okay.
Yes. That's Tim Shears from Gateway Drum Smokers and Shake and Bake. That's his farm. He runs that farm as well.
Okay.
And I've used those briskets now for 2 years, and I actually think those are a little bit better than Snake River Farms.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when you get a chance, message me that name, because I gotta call a place today that it's been, like I said, these damn things listen to you.
Yep.
Okay? Because I was having this conversation with Mrs. Maggs, and it's like, Snake River, Kevin, Mr. Brisket out in Ohio, and all of a sudden, I got a feed in my Facebook feed of a place. I don't want to say anything right now because it could be a secret for me, but literally right down the street from me, and they do Wagyu. I need to find out, though, it's more looking like they just are a processor and don't really have
I think I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
One of my buddies was talking to them for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think I know exactly.
All right, I'll just throw it out there. All of a sudden, I opened the Facebook feed and right in there, bold print, New England Wagyu, Center Bonstead, New Hampshire. And I went, no shit. On South Bonstead Road, which I live off of North Bonstead Road, so we're really close.
Yep.
So I got to give them a shout to see what's going on with that. But yeah, I was going to. So yeah, if you can message me that name too, I'll check those out. But yeah, it's gonna be one of those. A couple of my buddies in Texas are like, dude. He goes, dude, I've won the KCBS on a very low prime. It's like, it's,
It's possible. It's possible.
Of course it is. You got the right
when
table.
When you're up here in New England, you got the tough teams, and
that's
about
it.
90% of the field's cooking Wagyu. Yeah, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, you can't do it. Maybe some of them okay. I'll run a nice prime because, like you said, it all comes down to that money aspect too.
Nope.
It's like I show Mrs. Hanks. I go, yeah, this is Snake River Farms brisket. And she looked at it and went, holy shit. I go, oh yeah, add shipping on top of that.
Yeah, but that's why I only cook commodity on pork. I only cook commodity chicken. The only thing I spend the money for is my brisket. I'll cook, and people laugh and go, "You cook Smithfield?" Yeah, I like the brand. I like the product.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't need to go buy compart pork.
Yeah,
I don't need to. I know my recipe will work with using this. Yes, I'll ride that wave up and down,
Yeah.
depending upon the quality of what I'm getting. But I know what my food's supposed to taste like coming out of that.
Yeah.
So as long as you're happy with what you turn in,
Yeah.
that's what matters most.
100%. 100%. Well, Rico, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping in last minute. I knew we were talking about doing this, and it wouldn't be till, sometime near the end of June. But fortunate enough, we had a cancellation, and I'm in. I'm like, all right, brother. So I appreciate your time, man.
No, I appreciate it.
Where can everybody find you, social media, and start following what you got going on?
So Q Shanty on Facebook, Q Shanty BBQ on Instagram, or on my personal Instagram and personal Facebook, Rico Pasquale. We are on TikTok, but I'm not really active on it. I'm trying to get better at it, but it's very tough for me with the wedding, school, work. It's very tough.
Yeah.
But no, look at the Q Shanty BBQ page on Instagram. That's where you see all my up-to-date stuff is all on there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, no worries. Hang in 1 second. I'll jump right back in with you. Let me just close this out. Awesome, Chrissy.
Fantastic.
Like I said, another great guy, local guy.
Yeah.
Started as a kid. Mm-hmm. So just beautiful.
And just showing that amazing barbecue community sense again, the fact that he gives back and like he said, they feed the homeless and things like that. I think that's it's fantastic to see.
Yeah. So great. I'm so happy we were able to get that done a little earlier than we were expecting.
It's perfect.
So like I said, once I'm out there in June,
I know.
I'll meet a bunch of the more guys and we'll set all types of stuff up. Awesome. But next week, we finally have our reschedule from our little snowstorm we had on that Tuesday.
Yep.
So next week, Sterling Big Papa Ball will be joining us from, obviously Big Papa Smokers, BigPapaSmokers.com. And he might have had a little affiliation with, Ernie Ball, guitar strings and ball guitars. And, he has his hands in so many things. He's in great interview. And I got a little inside information on a little project he has working with another barbecue legend. So hopefully we can drag a little bit of that out. But that's it for this week, folks. Thank you all for joining us. Check out the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. Got all the episodes right at your fingertips. Find all the social media links down below. Questions and comments, please send them to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.